Hey everybody, this is the Sliders Review, and welcome to a special edition of Asian and Pacific Islander Heritage Month. And I'm here today to talk to you about Birds of Prey episode Lady Shiva. So in this episode, Lady Shiva is played by Sung Hai Lee. And I talked about her just recently in the Queen of Swords episode. And ironically, she plays a character somewhat similar to that. A woman out for revenge. So, Birds of Prey. This was a really good emotional episode. Like, it was really something that made you go, oh my God, when you find out the big mystery and stuff. And that's the big selling point of this episode. Now, there is a side plot that has to do with Dinah. Basically, I'll just run through it real fast. She's in high school. She's having to dissect a frog. She likes a boy that she sees. He's talking to some girl. She uses her power to like read his mind about what band he likes. Then she pretends to like that band and to dress the way that he likes and everything, hoping that he'll ask her out to the prom. He starts to like her, but she starts to feel guilty and tells him that, oh, I don't really like that band. And, I just read your Palm Pilot. Wow, Palm Pilot, boy, it tells you what year you're in then. And so, he gets mad, don't want nothing to do with her. And then, because she read, his journal and stuff like that. But then later on the end of the episode, they decide to be friends. It's a nice little subplot, but it kind of took up. Oh, I'm tired. Sorry about that. So sorry. But it was a nice subplot, but it kind of took up too much time, and they should have focused to make the A plot more stronger. Because even though it is a good episode, there are just some things that are a little confusing and things that should have been deeper and more emotional. You know what I'm saying? And it would have been nice to figure out what exactly happened to this one character towards the end. And then the whole time period is a little confusing and stuff. So I wish they would have took more time to flesh that out instead of Dinah trying to get a dude. But one cool thing about this episode is not one, we get to see Lady Shiva in live action. Now, this Lady Shiva is completely different in the comics. In the comics, she's an assassin. And this one, she's just a thief. But they do play the whole assassin angle type thing. Also, her costume is amazing looking. It's this leather and it's kind of lizard scaly type stuff. It's all black and they gave her a mask. And they also gave her these really cool shuriken. And so, in the comics, she has a more modern day outfit, trench coat, stuff like that. But she's one of the deadliest people, in DC Comics. And another cool thing about this episode, we get to see Barbara wearing the Batgirl costume again. And it's a nice Batgirl costume. It is probably the best Batgirl costume I've ever seen in live action. There aren't that many. We had the Alicia Silverstone one. We were gonna get the one from HBO Max, but David Zaslav screwed that up. And then we had two Batwomen costumes, and this costume is actually a modified version of the Alicia Silverstone one. Basically, they just painted the gloves and the boots gold and gave her a proper mask and stuff. And this entire episode. Revenge. Revenge, man. It's one of those things that makes you so angry you can't see straight. It's one of those things that it causes you to do things you're gonna regret in life and causes you to cross that line. And that's what happens in this episode. And Song Hai Lee, she did an amazing job in this episode, just like she did in Queen of Swords. I don't know if she still gets work today. I think it's been a while. It's quite a shame. She has an amazing look to her. She's really good at acting. This is why Asian representation is very, very important, because Hollywood just let this woman go, you know? And it's quite a shame. But like in this episode, we get a flashback 8 years ago. And it's Lady Shiva, and she's heading to a building, and Batgirl stops her. And so, like, there's an exchange of, like, you know, throwing weapons, which is kind of weird. It's just the camera is, like, still, and you just see them throw things. And because the bat suit is so, like, hard to move in, they had to kind of, like, speed up the camera as she just kind of, like, moves her head. It's not that interesting. I wish they would have filmed that better. But, like, it is what it is. They changed some, like, dialogue. I believe when Batgirl threw her batarang, it hit like some type of like pipe and gas came out. And I think it's been a while since I saw this episode. I think they fight. I'm not really too sure. But then a huge explosion happens, and Lady Shiva gets caught in the explosion, and she's under all the rubble in the building. Actually, I don't know if they fight or not. I don't think they do. I really don't. Like I said, it's been a while, but I know there's an explosion and Lady Shiva's in the building. And so she's in the rubble. And then, 8 years passed, and we get stuff in the modern day. And, Helena's telling, like, the girls, my friend Sandy's coming to visit. I haven't seen her since, like, high school and stuff. They were, like, really, really, really close, like, good friends and stuff, right? And so, like, and Sandy shows up. I'm like, huh, she looks kind of familiar. I'm like, she kind of looks a little bit like Lady Shiva. I'm like, it can't be. Lady Shiva died, didn't she? I'm like, maybe it's like her descendant or something. And it would make sense because of the age and everything. And so, Helena and Sandy, they're like catching up. She's introduced to like Barbara and Dinah and stuff like that. And so at some point in time, I forget the officer's name, the detective dude. It might be Reese. I'm not sure, but the detective, Helena, she's talking to him because they kind of have like a Batman, Jim Gordon type relationship. And also she kind of likes him. And so he found a shuriken, and it has the bat symbol on it. And this is kind of weird, so it's like, Barbara sees a picture of it, and she knows exactly whose it is. It's Lady Shiva, and she's very, very, disturbed by this because she thought Shiva was dead. They even found like a Jane Doe body that was believed to be hers. And so, she doesn't understand, like, could this person be alive or not? There's nothing she can really do because she's in a wheelchair now. And so, at some point in time, the detective dude, he finds another one, but this one's embedded in the head of like a man. And this one has like a Asian symbol on it that's translate to life. So now Barbara really knows that Shiva probably is still alive. But why exactly is she killing? Because Barbara literally says she doesn't kill people, but she's been killing bodyguards. The first time they found the shuriken, a vault had all this like money and stuff stolen. But then the second time the vault was open, and she just killed the guard. This part is a little confusing. I think they was trying to tie in the comics of her being an assassin, but the people she's killing just seem to be bodyguards. I don't know if it's like, a gangster she stole it from or what. Most likely it is, or maybe a rich person, I don't know. That's the part that could have been stronger in the writing. Well, long story short, it turns out Shiva is alive. And of course, guess who she is? The best friend of Helena and stuff. And, this is the part that's very confusing. It was 8 years ago when Shiva supposedly died. And So if that was 8 years ago, and Barbara was Batgirl before the Joker did what he did, then that means that Shiva in the past was like a teenager and stuff. But she didn't look like a teenager. She looks like she does like now. And it would have made more sense if that Shiva was an adult and, the teenage daughter would have been friends with Helena. I would have wrote it that way. But, like whatever. And so I guess she was a teenage, like, thief and everything, and supposedly died. And then that's why she left and everything. And so, like, she wants to kill Barbara badly. But the question is, why if she's alive? But then it has to do with that Jane Doe body that was found in the rubble and stuff. Because there was an actual body that, the coroners and stuff found. Well, it turns out that it was Shiva's teenage sister who was 15. Which once again makes no sense between like the age and stuff. Because Helena was a teenager when her mom died, Selena Kyle, and then Joker killed Selena. Then he shot Barbara, and him and Batman fought, and then the Joker got caught in like the rubble explosion and stuff. And so that don't make sense. But it's a 15-year-old girl they found. So how could that be Helena and everything? And why she been didn't go looking for revenge on like Barbara? This is where the writing gets so mucky and confusing. It's like they should have explained that better. But Barbara is heartbroken knowing that, she killed a little girl by mistake. Now, somehow Barbara just found like Lady Shiva. Lady Shiva was just like out and about, like, whatchamacallit, like just out and about and like in the street. And we don't know why. But somehow Barbara was able to find her. And it doesn't explain how she was able to find her, but she's in costume. And so Barbara is in her Batgirl costume. She's using some type of like exoskeleton type thing to make her walk. But it's not doing a very good job. She can just walk a little bit. But basically Shiva kicks her butt to the ground. And, she's all like, get up so she can like kill her. And she's all like, I can't. Shiva looks around and she sees the wheelchair. So then she knows it's Barbara. Then she takes the mask off also. And so the thing is that, when the batarang hit the gas thing, it caused an explosion in the building and it killed her teenage sister. She did not know at that time there was another person in the building. She suspected it, but she didn't really like think because she was too focused on taking down a criminal. And, Batman has that no killing rule, and Barbara follows that, And so for her to make this big of a mistake, this is why when they're out in the field, they got to be very careful. Because even the slightest mistake can happen. And, this is something she now had to live with her entire life. Because she knew there was a dead body, but she assumed it was Shiva. So she's been living with this grief. Well, anyway, Helena shows up as Huntress, and she scares away Shiva. And so Barbara is pissed that, like, Huntress showed up. And so she tells her the story of what happened all those years ago. And so Shiva, Sandy, now knows who Barbara is and everything. And since she saw Helena, because Helena does not wear a mask when she's out in the field, like some dumb reason, she now knows that they're working together. And so she goes back to Helena's bar, and she's basically just like, if you could find a man who killed your mother, what would you do? Would you kill him? And so they have a discussion, and Sandy now knows that she wants Barbara dead no matter what. But here's the bad thing. She's going about it the wrong way. She's gonna hurt the people Barbara loves. She's not gonna go after Helena, and she can't go after Barbara right now. So she goes after Dinah. And since Dinah's at the dance thing at school, she somehow found that out. I think, that's why Dinah told her. So she shows up at the school looking to kill that of Dinah. But Dinah's able to like escape and hit her with a fire hydrant. fire extinguisher. So then Huntress shows up, but then she gets her butt kicked badly. And Shiva's literally gonna kill Huntress. And Shiva knows who she is, but she just doesn't care. And it's just like, dude, what are you doing? That's like your best friend. Y'all were like buddies and everything. And vengeance has blinded her that badly. But don't worry, Barbara shows up. Of course, she's Oracle now. She might be in a wheelchair, but she got her police batons and she's ready to fight. And she whoops on Lady Shiva and everything. This Lady Shiva doesn't appear to be in no type of like crime organization, ninja organization, nothing like that. But with those police stick boys, she whooped on her. And as she's laying on the ground, she's finna get the final blow, but she doesn't. And so like Sandy, you know, Shiva, she's all like, why don't you just like do it already? I would have killed you. And then that's when Barbara tells her that what makes me and you different. She will not kill nobody. Like that's just something she will not do. And the only time she's killed somebody is by mistake. This is where the writing gets bad. Again, it cuts from that, and then we get like, you know, other scenes and stuff. We get like, you know, Dinah talking to that boy, and then like we get a scene with Barbara and Alfred, and she's all like, you told Helena that I was going out to look for Shiva, and he's all like, yeah, and everything. And because, you know, he knew that she would need help because that thing on her back was not gonna like, you know, help her and stuff. But then the question is, where is Shiva and everything? Like, did she just like leave? Did she forgive Barbara? Is like she pissed at Helena, or did they lock her up behind bars for killing those guys? It's never been explained. And this is where the writing fumbles and everything. They should have had it stronger. They should have explained, you know, the whole drama of what happened between these three when they were still at the school. So in headcanon, we just have to assume that they let her get arrested and stuff like that. And it would have been a whole lot stronger if we could actually see it. But the side plot B was taking up too much focus and everything. But like I said before, all in all, it's a really good episode. And there is some pretty good action here and there whenever there is action and stuff. And I just, you know, this show, I see why it got canceled after one season, but it had a really good potential. And some of that potential was really shown very well and everything. And a lot of people have now went back to this show and really appreciate it for what it was back then. It was a really good DC superhero show. It needed some tweaking here and there, but all in all, it was really good. Also, I want to point out that like none of this would have happened if Barbara never put on the Batgirl costume and went looking for Shiva. Because Shiva had no idea that Barbara and Batgirl were one and the same. So if she never put on the costume feeling guilty and wanted to confront her nemesis and everything, then all of that would have like never happened and would have played out completely different. Happy Asian and Pacific Islander month, everybody. Alrighty, well, I'll talk to y'all later. Bye.